Stefano.
Thanks. Hello everybody, my name is Stefano, and I try to explain us the use of PDF with JSON or RML. In case you want to just put an eye on my code, if you connect to this address, there is some code from slides. If you note this address from the conference, you can get the code that I present. So, come on. Well, the target for the request for this talk to is to create a PDF without data input, any sort of data, but with a flexible layout. So the flexible layout is a concept that I explain better in next slide. A requirement that has been done is the limited disk space is a true requirement, and so we can't use LaTeX because all package text slice takes a lot of disk space, and so we have tried to avoid to not use this tool. In this talk, I prefer if you have some question for me to give me now, step by step. So if there is something that is not clear, please inform me. So, what's flexible? Flexible is a layout that is not too aspect, and so you can never go to the finish of this work. So the layout can be upgradable in some mode, and so there is maybe never a final version for your layout. The code I propose is template based. So if you want to create a template for your PDF, it's easy to create this. Another part of the request is that all projects must be error-free. So if some data go in input from the PDF library, there is not the possibility that the PDF cannot be created. The creation of PDF is a requirement. So if there is data that are not transported in a very well mode, the PDF go to default. And so all data in input have this their default in project directory. So another thing is the PDF must be able to create graphics, so graph and image on the fly. So the data in input, from the data in input we can take all numbers for x and y axis, and then plot its graph. Or if you want an image, it can create simple graphics image like a semaphore with red, yellow, and red and green light, or similar with geometrical figures. So, the research starts with deep research of a PDF library that can be used for this project because LaTeX, that is the best to create a PDF, is not contemplated. And so we try to move to another type of libraries. The first one for Python, the first known, the best known, is Report Lab that I speak about in the next slide. But my first choice was LST to PDF. Somebody know Restus to the test? You can put up your hands if you know. Structured text is a type of declaration of text that you can use also for comments in Python. So you can use some type of formatting to create a simple document. And in this library, LST to PDF, you can create a PDF with some hack on restructured text. This is my first choice because it's very simple. The input data is text very comprehensible to read, are plain text, so UTF-8. And the problem is that is a little bit limited, because if you want some PDF that look better, you have to look around another libraries better, because the result you can give with this library is not the best one. So, another try that I made was with PISA, also known as XHTML to PDF. That is a converter from HTML to PDF. But this work a little bad, because to make this conversion, it works like a browser. So, if the HTML parser in PISA was not correct, the result is bad, very bad. And so you cannot use all features that HTML give to make, for example, a web page. Then, things. Somebody use things? Things are used in Python documentation for official website. And it creates also PDF, also then HTML page, thanks to LST to PDF that the library below, and LST to LaTeX. LST to LaTeX is a command line program that you have in your system if you install a TextLive or LaTeX package. It creates better PDF than LST to PDF, because you can use in LST, in restructured text, more features that are not present in LST to PDF. Because the conversion is better, because in LaTeX there are a lot of features to create a beautiful layout for your PDF. Then PyReport. PyReport is a tool that I think will be created for generate a report, but it's based on LaTeX, and so I have to not use them and go on. Then matplotlib, I discovered that I have a method that we call PDF page that creates on fly a PDF basing on your graph that you plot. It seems that is natively, so Python pure, but I don't investigate anymore. Then there is pod that is something in competitor with things. But to create a PDF, it takes LibreOffice or OpenOffice in server mode. Server mode means that OpenOffice have to run a server on your desktop, on your PC, and then pod attached to the port that LibreOffice open, and use OpenOffice to convert ODT that pod create to PDF. This is an horrible solution because you have a server only for create a document, and this service of OpenOffice is not really fast. It's the best one because OpenOffice know very well ODT format. But the conversion takes a lot. So, we are choosing a report lab. So, I investigate in which kind of using a report lab you can made with this library to create a PDF. The first one with using Canvas, but it's in a Matryoshka mode, because you have to create an object, like a layout cell, and then put inside another object, and then go on in depth. So it's like a Matryoshka, and the code, all written in Python, it's unmaintainable. Because if you have to add some things to improve your layout, you go full. Then there is a Platypus that is included in Report Lab. That is another method to use a Report Lab that is more similar to LaTeX. But I searched to try to get a file that represents my template. And with Platypus code Python with content, a code Python with style sheet or style with PDF is together. It's not the solution. Then I discovered RML, Report Markup Language, that is included in Report Lab Plus, that is commercial packet from Report Lab. And there is also implementation called z3c.rml that is in ZOP community. In this package, you can try RLM to PDF that convert RLM format, XML derivation, to PDF. RML is not very simple to learn, but it's the best choose if you can't use LaTeX, because it's the near one. There is some documents online, some manual. This is the learning path. You can start with for idiots. It's on Report Lab site, and then go on with sample user guide. But in user guide, you can discover that Report Lab plus RML is with more function that z3c.rml. So the reference of this project, you have to read before, because you cannot use all features that RML have. If you have any question, somebody know RML before? Okay, only one. Okay, how I can create RML right now? You can create a simple template, creating a simple text in OpenOffice or in Word, and then export to ODT. Last version of Office takes these features. And with this tool, ODT to RML, you can have the conversion. You can try this tool on the IP address I gave before, if you want. That is based also on this tool that is created by the OpenRP team. Okay, this is the main library that I use to create the JSON and RML implementation. There is a blog article called Create PDF in Python with JSON and RML that explains that Jonathan Schimel created a Python.report, Python because it's called Jonathan, that use in that library Genshi with the data in RML. Somebody know Genshi? Genshi? Okay. Genshi is very powerful tool. It takes template language inside the code and X-include support. X-include support is a feature that XML implement for standard. It's a standard. And if you use this, you can have a simple XML that incorporates another XML using only XML code. That is what I want, because I want that template are separated for content. With the X-include, I have that RML can be divided in each part, content, style, and initialization. And so the installation. Installation is very easy. You can have people is installed the same. You have with this command, you have all the tools that is linked. So this command I had also peel, because peel is a requirement for Report Lab, but I don't know why pip is installed, can't install it automatically. And with this tool, you have also on your PC Report Lab z3c.rml, Genshi, and PyPDF. PyPDF is not a creator for PDF. It's like PDFK. It's like a toolkit to work with PDF. You can use it to make merge, splitting of PDF, but no creation. Then, for data, there is some possibility. The first one is JSON, that is included in Python 2.6 and the next version. YAML, that needs PyYAML or PySeq to work in Python. It is not a standard, but, and JSON is a standard. So for future, I think JSON can go on. I don't know YAML if go the same. And the last choice is using Python itself to get data in a simple format, in a file that it imports simple, and you have the data from the code. So, some code. This is the main all code I wrote is about 4-5 lines. All code is very well compact, and with this code you can do everything. The only thing you have to do is to learn about RML in documentation, because some things, if you want to create some template, you have to know RML, and the conversion from ODT to RML is not enough, but it's a good start of point. So this is the main code that create a PDF from RML using a JSON data in input. In this example, there is no arguments parser, because I think I write using Pluck. Somebody of us is using Pluck. I've listened to Pluck session day before. Okay, it's a good tool. It takes template, out file, and file. Reading in file, it writes a file in file called datafile.py that informs the tool that the file is data.json. Then the import of Python reports, and then the main code for creation of PDF. The first one is to use template. Args.templates is the one I passed to CMD. And then the render document that save all data in PDF. And then clean up to clean all variable created. Any question right now? That's very simple to create. And then it's the main code of report.rml, the main template. In this document, there is the use of Xinclude and Genshi power. And there is also code in Python, because with Genshi you can put Python code inside XML. But I put only one line after XML declaration. From libdata import all. Libdata is a library that load the defaults. So you can have all data from JSON, data input, and data default that you have in your project. And then all include that there is a for. A for menu for all file that you can split your RML. Docini, style sheet, template, and story. And that there is the with PyChoose you can write down all include tags. This is the main template. And then there is all file in each document. Some question? Too obscure? It's only a for from file name, and then import withxinclude. This is the JSON loader that load default for first step. Then lang, I implement a simple internationalization with JSON file. So I get the language that you desire for your data input, and then I load internationalization file in JSON file. So this load default, then lang language default, and last one the data default, data user default. And this is a JSON example. Simple declaration of data in JSON with an array. This the last array is an example for a graph. There is in default there is x-axis, and this one is y-axis. And so you can trace the graph without problem. This is the real RML content that is inside the story.xml, the one I load here, story.xml. And you can see that there are parameters all inside the document. Data field is the name for the field to translate. So there is a translation in own languages of data field, and the field and date, and data is the data that user data give me from JSON data, and so on with the other field and data. This is only content, so there is no style sheet. This is real strange because in RML there is a separation between style and content. But with xinclude you have a separate file. And so the separation is more deep, and you can work on single file, or give a file to another person to work on, and you can create multiple templates with the same content. In this case, there is a table user data that is defined in style sheet document that I load always in this document, stylesheet.xml. And this is the dynamic RML content. This is also in story.xml. You can include the Python code. If I include the matplotlib here, the slide is not enough. But you can use in matplotlib to generate a simple PNG file that you can load then. And so you can load data from JSON data input, create the image, and then put in PDF on the fly. And so is all. Question? Yeah?
I was wondering if an approach using a browser instead of Report Lab was interesting. Have you thought maybe using WebKit? So you do the templating in Python before, you do the CSS, you create an HTML, And then with WebKit, you convert to PDF?
WebKit, I don't know if there is an exportation to PDF. But with PISA, the results is bad, very bad. With WebKit, there is
I know for sure you can do in C++. I know you can do HTML to PDF conversion with the Qt bindings of WebKit and with the GTK bindings. So I suppose with the Python bindings you can do the same. So I think you can take a look at this.
It's my choice.
There is on Google Code, there is a project called HTML to PDF and also to image. And it has, I think it bundles with all the Qt libraries it must use, so you just install a single executable.
I don't know this feature for WebKit, but for my project I have really a bit of disk space, and so installing all Qt, all binding of Qt is not a solution for us. But I think that it is possible. I think that conversion from HTML is not good enough. I know the library you have told me, but I have some trouble with this one because PISA is better. It's more fast, and it not crash. Okay.
There are actually some more options for converting either XML and HTML to PDF. For example, you could use a tool like Apache FOP converter for the translation from FOP to HTML, and there is also a converter called CSS to XLFO. So that supports translation of HTML, where you could just manage your content as HTML, plus CSS for doing the styling, and then I have one command line call from going from HTML or XML to PDF.
Yeah. I know FOP, and
it sucks.
Exactly. But I search from a technology that is only Python based, and so I don't use this tool. But I know that it's the best one for this conversion.
RML is, I think, a commercial product of Report Lab. Can you say something about the costs or license costs?
I don't know. His name is Report Lab Plus.
Plus, yeah.
But I don't know.
And I think the license costs are about, depending on the number of pages you're producing, and that goes up to 10,000 British pound per year. There are some cheaper alternatives than RML, I think.
I don't know. In Report Lab Plus, there is also page catcher that with this tool you can have a PDF inside another PDF, and so you can create a layout with inside layout. But I don't know the cost of this service. Another question?
And did you have experience with a large number of pages? I assume that the content of the JSON data is entirely loaded in memory. You mentioned you had problems with disk space, but what about memory space? In case also of concurrent requests for big documents.
Yes, for all data is loaded in memory, but data in JSON is you create only a single page each time. So if you want to have multiple processes in parallel, this is not a solution. But in this case, we have a little space in disk and more or less memory. So the solution for us is the best compression, the best compact solution. But it's really fast.
Yes, my concern is in case of a document of 100 pages, the PDF.
Yeah.
Is it a sort of stream of pages in output, or is it the entire PDF completely written in memory and then split out?
Report Lab writes down each section,
okay.
and so the file grows up, and when finished, it closes it. But if you try to open the file when you create, it's not so a true PDF.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
One problem we had with PISA, and
Yeah.
the reason why we switched to Report Lab is that if you have a logo in the header, it's replicated on every page, so the final size of the PDF grows. With Platypus, we were able to define a block that is inserted only once in the PDF and pasted on every page. So it only occupies one unit of space. Is this solution able to define something like that? So a template for the page with a header and footer without using space?
Yeah. Because RML implements all things that Platypus has. RML is an evolution of Platypus, and it's for this reason that is in Report Lab Plus.
Okay.
All things in Platypus is implemented.
Maybe I didn't understand correctly how you bundled all the templates, like this Genshi, like?
Yeah.
And the other stuff. But is it possible to separate templating language, like extract all the PDF necessary formatting, and I don't know, use it with our templating languages? How hard would that be?
Yeah. The template is the style sheet document, and so this file is separated from others one. Mm-hmm. In the others one there is also story.xml that you see before. In this file there is all variable and all things get from JSON data. But in style sheet you can create what you want to format the PDF. And so include the Genshi, it's used to give to page.reports an only file, but are separately, because you can describe style for each tag in story. From each tag in your content, you have a style in style sheet document. And so if you rewrite all style sheet document, you have a new PDF with different layout.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Another question? Some comments, some improvement?
I saw in your code a smelly part. I don't know how to define it. Isn't there a better way to pass the information instead of creating a temporary file, a temporary Python source, and then including it?
Yeah. The code is written from scratch from this presentation, and so there is some hacks. But yes, you can use JSON data all on the fly from the GenC library. So in your XML, you can load all what you want.
Yeah, I don't want to judge your code. My concern was about I have adopted. You've been forced to do this because of some limit. But if you say it's not so,
No.
it's fine. Thanks.
Nothing.
Does the RDF language support enable you to create the PDF forms?
Yeah, you can create a PDF form because RML supports it, and so Report Lab converts form tags from real RML to real PDF form.
Cool.
Yeah. And with this type of concatenation, you can create form dynamically with what you want, in which position you want, everything.
Okay, I think that's all. Thank
That's
you.
all.